Something is rotten in Miami, no question about that.
It's me. It might be me.
I beg your pardon?
Might be me.
It might be you. Well, that's possible.
I'm 90 years old.
I don't want to jump to any rash conclusions, but you might be confused.
I'm not that kind to get confused. I was wondering. I couldn't get...
Well, the president's confused, so we're all entitled to be confused.
Oh, maybe. That's possible.
Yeah.
Glad to talk to you. I'm glad I found out because I was anxious. It seems every night when I tried WINZ, all I got was music.
Well, when you talk to me, you learn something.
Yeah, I did learn. I did. I listened to you, but I can't listen to you. Change your daytime. I used to religiously. I listen to you at night.
Well, how could you hear me at night if you can't hear the station at night now?
What do you mean? When you were on?
Right.
I heard you, but it seems since you're gone, to the night.
You only get music.
Night, it's music, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
There's something wrong with my radio, probably. I hope it's not me.
Okay. Well, try it again.
All right, thank you very much.
Tune in tonight. You'll hear Bernard Meltzer.
Yeah, Bernard Meltzer.
Right?
That's Dr.
Dr. Bernard Meltzer.
Yes, I used to listen to him, too, but
Well, he's on tonight, right here on this station.
Oh, what time is he on?
7 o'clock.
11?
Let me say it again. 7 o'clock. 7, like after 6 and before 8. 7.
Uh-huh. Okay, thanks a million.
You bet. Have a nice weekend now.
Too.
Okay.
Hey, well.
You too. 11:36 at WINZ. We have an opening in Dade. 624-0191. Mobile phone in Dade. Hello.
Oh, Neil?
Yes, sir?
I've been listening to you for quite a while, and I enjoy listening to you, but I cannot understand why so many people, elderly or what have you, call you up and they have such a pessimistic attitude. For example, with our kids. I mean, our kids have a great opportunity.
To what?
I mean, they're growing up. We aren't at war right now. We have an economy which seems to be shaping up from the old days of the high inflation. It's shifting around. People are able to go to college. I mean, there's all sorts of things. A lot of these people that call in, like the gentleman before you, says that I don't know what the future is for kids, but I've heard that from my father. I've heard that from all the people that grow up and they can't stand today's kids, and kids are changing.
No, wait a minute. He didn't say he couldn't stand today's kids. He didn't say that at all. He said that he doesn't know what kind of a legacy we're leaving for him.
Yeah, I think that we have some major problems like the deficit and what have you, but I think they're going to be faced. I mean, it takes a little period of time to change everything around. Everybody can't just criticize the immediate president because it's a congressional act that changes.
Well, you can't criticize a president who doesn't know what's going on. That's true. You can't hold him accountable because he doesn't know.
Well, we don't really. I mean,
he's confused.
You might say that, but I would hate to live back several years ago when you could put money into a money market.
But can I ask you a question? Is there anything besides money that makes a difference? I mean, I know you're calling me from your nice mobile phone now, and that's wonderful, and there's nothing wrong with having money, but I mean, is that the only criterion by which we judge how the country is going and the condition that the world is in?
No, that's not the only criteria.
I mean, when we do business with terrorists and when we lie to the public and when we sell arms to lunatics and we do all of the things that we've been doing, and when we foment war and discontent in places all around the world, does that mean that everything is great?
Because, no, I don't think that.
Because we don't have a high interest rate, or I mean a high inflation rate? That means everything is wonderful?
Well, that's very important, you know. And the other thing...
Well, how important is it? Is it more important than the other things I talked about?
Absolutely not. It's not more important.
I mean, you talk about the kids. Who's going to pay off all of this enormous debt that we're talking about? The president submits a budget of $1.3 trillion. Who ever heard of such a thing?
He submitted that because of the fact of everybody who wants to have all the giveaways forever and
ever.
Oh,
sir, listen. Take your mobile phone, have a wonderful life, and good luck to you, sir. See, when I first came on the daytime, I used to joke about the pseudo-intellectuals with their mobile phones and so on, and it was just tongue-in-cheek, and we've had a lot of really good callers in mobile phones, whether they agree or disagree. But here's a guy who fits into that category. He's got his possessions and his material things, and that's really where he's coming from. And he's entitled to live that way, and more power to him, but I just can't relate to that. I'm just not on anywhere near the same wavelength. We have two open lines in Dade again. The Dade number is 624-0191. This has been a really strange morning, I'll tell you. I mean, a lot of times I'll say that and I'm just kidding around, but this has been strange. Let me give that Dade number one more time, and let's see if they're listening in Dade or if they're revolting this morning. And, of course, some of the callers from both counties have been pretty revolting already. 624-0191. And Bernard Meltzer will be on this evening, and TalkNet is here every night from 7 in the evening till 5 in the morning, and they talk and they give advice, and everybody has a wonderful time. And she asked me about the nighttime ratings, and Wichner had a 5.1 share, and WIOD had a 4.4 share, and TalkNet a 4.3. So, you know, for the first time out of the box, TalkNet, in fact, in its individual hours, did pretty well, and I think the folks here are pretty well satisfied with it. 20 minutes before noon at WINZ, and we'll be right back. 18 before noon at WINZ. Ron Harrison is over there at Overseas Electronics, and he's standing by right as I speak right now. Right, Ron?
Right you are, Neil Rogers, and here we are at Overseas Electronics Superstore featuring warehouse-to-you prices. I'm just getting a lesson on compact discs here, and that's interesting. We've got TVs, video recorders, stereo systems, Walkmans, car stereo, compact disc players, lots of those, camcorders, tapes, and accessories. And the compact disc players are really a big item here, and they are selling like crazy. We've got great name brands in all types of electronics: Sony, Panasonic, JVC, NEC, Zenith, GE, and TDK, to name a few, and some great Super Bowl specials this weekend. Come on by and take a look at color TVs from only $139, video recorders from only $229, a great selection of big screen projection TVs from Sony, NEC, Pioneer, and others, and that little Sony 19-inch cable-ready color TV, only $298. It's gorgeous. We're open 7 days a week, most major credit cards accepted, financing available to qualified buyers. How do you get here? That's easy. We're located on the Palmetto 826 Expressway at the Northwest 58th Street East exit. You can see us from the Palmetto. If you want to save in every way, come to Overseas Electronics Superstore today.
Okay, I certainly will. 17 before noon, we'll be talking to Ron again in just a matter of seconds, as a matter of fact. We have two lines open in Dade where they just dropped off in the last couple of seconds here. 624-0191 is our Dade number. And I have a feeling that 1987 could be Broward's year. This could be the year that Broward gets no raps on this show, that they're on their best behavior. All the Broward lines have been full all morning, and the Dade people now are picking up where the Broward folks left off. They are really strange. Hollywood, good morning.
Mr. Rogers?
Yes?
I'm a first-time caller.
Oh, boy.
And I like to hear your programs.
Yeah.
And I tried to get into you yesterday, but the lines are always busy.
Yeah.
When you're talking about the police.
Yes, sir.
And here I'm coming down Hollywood Boulevard.
Oh, well, wait a minute. You got a story for us about the police?
Well, I wanted to tell you about the incident I got a ticket on.
Oh, no. No, we don't take those kind of calls, sir. Miami Beach, hello.
Hi, Neil. It's, I thought I'd give a little representation from Dade County this morning.
Is there anybody alive this morning? Last week we had Linda Thornton here, and it was incredible. I was amazed. We had all younger callers, and the phones were just jammed the whole time. We had a great show, and now, and of course Saturday is kind of unpredictable. I come on here, and I come through the sunshine. I drive to work. It's a beautiful day. I'm in a great mood. The ratings are great. Life is wonderful. And you sit down, and these people are just incorrigible today.
Well, to tell you the truth...
They're all calling from reform school.
Right, and I'm in my own reform school because I keep on hearing how beautiful you're saying it's out, but I can't go out because I have to go to work, and to me it's torture to go out for an hour on a beautiful day and then have to go to work.
Yeah, well, you can imagine how I feel.
Right. So I thought I'd give a little representation, but I do not know if anyone's alive out there. I
think all the live people are at the beach. They must
Probably.
be, because there's no way in the world that anybody, who's not brain dead is just kind of vegetating on a day like this.
Right. I did want to say something about the jury system, since you were talking about it. I had an opportunity to be on a jury a few months ago. It was for a civil case, but I always used to be, Miss Patriotic, and I thought that, nobody could say anything, to me, America was perfect in every way. But as far as the jury system, I always thought, that's the only way to go. But when I went on the jury, then I realized that, I said, I can't believe that I'm making a decision about this, and that the the 5 other people that were with me, it was just a matter of, I felt like the one of the person's attorney, who I sided with that person, but I thought his attorney was incompetent, so I felt sorry for the guy because he had such a lousy attorney. And the other people, to make a long story short, it wasn't really a matter of who we thought was, there were so many other circumstances, whatever, that made us come up to a decision. It was, of course, about money, and one person on the jury didn't want to give the man a penny. I, on the other hand, wanted to give him more than anyone else, so we ended up with a compromise. If I had kept quiet, you know, he would have gotten very, very, very little.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, you know, if I could have gone on for a couple hours more, I feel like we could have gotten him, you know, a few, maybe, you know, thousands and thousands of dollars more. But I felt like this isn't, as a juror, I'm not supposed to be the man's attorney. You know, I'm just supposed to be one of six, not, you know, change everybody's mind. So it's really, I'm with you. I mean, I would really be, I mean, and this was just money. But if it were about, you know, spending the rest of my life in prison or something like that, I mean, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, well, I don't, you know, we had the gentleman who called earlier says we can't do any better than that, and that's the best possible system. And if that's the best system, then I guess we're never going to have any justice.
Yeah, it's not just, and I mean, the only way I rationalized what I went through, I just figured, well, this is money, you know, it's not somebody's life, but
yeah.
At least have people, you know, if you're not going to, like what you were saying, trained or professional jurors, whatever, you have to have a certain amount of intelligence and screen them better. I mean, what you're screened, they ask you 3 questions, 4 questions, you can lie, you know, if you want to be on the jury because you want to get a couple of dollars, or you just want to be on, or you don't want to be on, people that are, you know, that would be real good jurors are getting off left and right because they don't want to go through it. So they do have to work on something, because the judge, I mean, I could not believe, because we were deliberating for so long because we could not come up with, you know, a
well, yeah, but again, this situation yesterday has got nothing to do with whether or not they can come up. I mean, if it's going to be a hung jury, it's going to be a hung jury. But to come back and to say we've reached a verdict and then to give a non-unanimous decision, I mean, you've got to understand these 11 people all participated. It isn't though that one of the jurors or the foreman of the jury slipped this note in and said, okay, you know, I want to go home and I'm sick of this. All 11 collaborated on this atrocity, on this travesty of justice.
Right.
So there's something really wrong there.
It is, and you would think, especially in Dade County, where there's so much, you know, there's just so much crime and whatever, that they would have some better system. I don't know. I hope somebody somewhere, but I'm sure this has been going on for so long, and it will just continue. I mean, it's one of those things like the gambling that I don't think is going to change.
No, nothing. You're right. And these people get angry at me because they expect me to sit here and to continue promoting things that are never going to fly, and to, you know, keep making a jackass out of myself. What's the use? What's the point in it? I can't, you know, you can't make gold out of chopped liver. Right?
Exactly.
Well, what can I say? Listen, hang in there and have a good weekend.
Okay, you too.
Take care. It's 10 minutes before noon at WINZ. I've heard of some ludicrous things, but off the air, where we seem to be getting most of our calls, by the way, this morning, somebody had a request for a guest on this program. You know who they wanted to be the guest? And I'm going to tell you, there's about as much chance of that happening as President Reagan calling in the show at 12:05 to wish me a happy Martin Luther King's birthday. That's about how much chance there is of Michelle being a guest on his show. Okay, we have an open line in each county. In Dade, 624-0191. And in Broward, 764-0707. And about 15 minutes ago, I think I really hit on what's going on here today. Yesterday, I came in and I was really upset because they had broken into my car, tried to steal it, broke the steering column. I had to go through a really traumatic situation, and the phones rang off the hook. And when you're upset, when you're angry, when you've been violated, when something horrible happens, like I've said to you before, misery loves company. But when they feel that you're enjoying yourself, then they don't want anything to do with you because they can't relate to that. Don't you understand? They have no concept of what that's all about. Anyway, our next caller, I promise, will be that payphone in Dade. But first, Ron Harrison is standing by, and Ron doesn't wait for any of this monkey business because he's got important things going on. 54 at WINZ, I have finally discovered what a big part of our problem is, part of the constant indigestion that exists in South Florida. Too much corned beef. I'm telling you, folks, it's going to kill you. It's poison. Loaded with salt and with all kinds of grotesque ingredients that you're not even aware of. I mean, where do you think they get corned beef? Do you think there's some animal that they just slice into it? There it is. Poof, it's corned beef. No, of course, it's one of those manufactured kind of meats, like pastrami. Did you ever see a cow that looked like a pastrami? I mean, where does that stuff all come from? And you're gorging yourselves with it. You're just downing like the guy who called last week about who can eat that sandwich for $6.95, right? I wish we had him back this morning. Are you listening, sir? Please, give us a call. Let's find out how your indigestion level is on the Richter scale. I said we'd take the payphone next because I can't imagine anybody hanging on a payphone to call on this show. Hello?
Hi, Neil.
How you doing?
Pretty good.
Are you really on a payphone?
Yeah, sitting outside of Winn-Dixie over in South Bay.
How's the traffic?
Pretty good, pretty good. I just wanted to comment. I was listening to that 90-year-old lady that said that you get music on TalkNet.
Right.
Well, your FM signal, WINZ, FM, Rockin' with Class, all that stuff,
right.
It bleeds through into your AM signal at night.
Are you serious?
I'm not kidding you. The other night I was listening to Bruce Williams talking about automobiles and stuff like that, and then faintly in the background you could hear the music.
That's incredible.
I know.
Can you imagine what that could do for the FM's ratings?
Yeah, maybe it'll boost them a little bit, right?
Well, couldn't hurt, I'll tell you that.
I just wanted to make that comment because maybe you didn't, No,
I never heard of that before. I had no idea that was going on.
It is bleeding through. I can hear it faintly, in the background. It doesn't, TalkNet does not come through very clearly. So it might be something your transmitter or, out there on the control board where the program director is, maybe he needs to make...
Are you hearing this in a house or in your car? Because I never hear it in the car.
No, I hear it in my house.
In the house?
Yeah. On a ghetto blaster that I got in my bedroom and then on my stereo that's out in the living room.
That is phenomenal. Well, I sure appreciate it. I'm going to pass it along to our astute engineering staff and see if we can't... do something intelligent like shutting the FM off at night or something like that.
I think that'd be good.
I mean,
All right, thanks a lot, Neil.
No, thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
That's incredible. Now, see, here I was, and I was really doubting the veracity of that 90-year-old woman who called, who was obviously well-intentioned, and she said she's trying to hear talk at night on WINZ. She's hearing music. And if she's hearing the 95 INZ, boy, what a culture shock that's got to be, right? No wonder she sounds confused. Better have a long chat with the programming office up in the front of the building for the FM. It's on the FM, 94.9, not on AM. See, there's that spillover, that crossover, 94 AM, 94.9. We got everybody confused. They don't know what the hell they're listening to. Okay, we have an open line in Dade. If you'd like to join us, our number in Dade County, the land of the free and the home of the grave, is 624-0191. Let's do that again very, very slowly to make sure that the people in the downtown area who are listening to the FM bleeding in the background hear the numbers. 624. In fact, those were the numbers, 24 for the FM. 624. You don't believe me, do you, Tom? That's serious, trust me. And that's why they're all sitting shivvy up in the front of the building. 624-0191. Tom Gallagher's here. He has no idea what's going on, and he's in a state of oblivion. He just wonders what the hell he's doing here. But he's going on vacation for a few days, so he's looking forward eagerly to that and wants to leave all of this foolishness behind him. News from CBS at the top of the hour, and we'll come back at 12:06.
News that's first, fast, and factual. Talk that's fresh, frank, and furious. We're Florida's favorite. WINZ, Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
94 News.
11:59 WINZ time. Good morning from the WINZ newsroom. Here's what's happening. Two robbers who used a sawed-off shotgun and...
12:06 at WINZ. We're back for hour number 3 and what's been a really upside-down kind of a Saturday morning, and now we're into the afternoon. It'll probably be even more upside down. Be sure to put pineapple on it, though. And at any rate, all of those rumors about them talking about us on other stations, nonsense, all ridiculous. In fact, from what we gather from our Kindle spy, the only thing that was said was some positive comment about Radio 8. And I heard Al the other day say something very nice about that. And that's great. And you want to know who had the biggest rating in any hour of talk in the last rating book? Was Rantel in the 9 o'clock hour, had a 5.6 share. That's a gigantic number. And I congratulate him on that. And he actually beat me in the first hour that we were head-to-head. Very close, 4.8 to a 4.7. And then in the 11 o'clock hour, I had a 4.3. He had a 4.1. In the noon hour, I had a 4.5. Al had a 3. So it was very close all the way through. Sandy, of course, was not in the running. Not in the running, Sandy. She was busy with, the TV repairman. But the thing that amazes me, there are a lot of people that really take these things seriously, as though we all just really have this intense hostility toward each other. And there's this, a lot of the stuff that you hear on these programs is tongue-in-cheek, at least from me. I can't speak for anybody else. Tongue-in-cheek. This is only a radio show. It's not our whole lives, folks. Now, of course, when you hear Steve and I talking about each other, then that's another story. That's all serious. But that's... What can I say? Anyway, it's 7 past noon. We have open phones till 2. And if you're wondering what the subject is today, I guess this is another demarcation point, because the next couple of weeks we've got some real heavy stuff that's coming up, and we're going to have to get back to the real world, into those morbid and depressing things like the malpractice crisis with the trauma network and the sales tax that they want to foist upon the public for doctors and lawyers, and a lot of other important subjects. But on a day like today, I just don't have it in me. I mean, we just made some tongue-in-cheek comments about the president and the fact that he's confused and he doesn't know what planet he's on and what day it is, and they're trying to keep him in an upright position, and it's great. You know, that's fine. But let's not take it all too seriously. Because if they're going to press the button, then it isn't going to make any difference anyway, right? And we've got all of these people screaming and hysterical about the Trident missile. I thought Trident was a sugarless gum. What do I know? It goes to show you that we're all on a different wavelength. It all depends on your perspective. But don't try to start another radio war with ugly rumors and with all your hysteria out there, because we won't have any part in it until it starts. Okay, let's go to Lauderhill. Hello? Are you there? See, they don't hang on here for me, Kyle. They don't want to even talk to me today. Kyle tells me that most of the people who are calling, they've got some inane question or some comment. They don't want to talk to me. Do you know why? Do you know where all of our audience is today? See, this is kind of a conspiracy, and I'm the victim. The audience promotes this the station promotes this Art Deco weekend on the beach. And our whole audience is over there with Barbara Capitman. They're all on the beach. And I noticed that Miami, South Florida has put out this special issue. I have one right in my hands here, South Florida Made Easy, and they have a map of the Miami Beach Art Deco district. And all of these ads for the Carlisle and the Leslie and the Cardoza and the Cavalier and all of these magnificent attractions, the Lincoln Road Arts District and the Wet Paint Cafe, and all of this good stuff on the beach. If you're over there driving around on the beach, toot your horn if you're listening to this show. Don't do it too loudly, because we don't have any liability insurance for that, but just give a little indication that you're listening to this program, but you can't call in because you're on the beach getting ready to tour the Art Deco district. Let's hear a little toot. And, of course, we know they're tooting in other parts of the audience, too, but that's another story. Okay, we have a couple of people dropped off during the new news break in Broward. Our Broward number is 764-0707. Let's try Fort Lauderdale. Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
I was on the phone earlier today, much earlier.
Well, wait a minute. You were on the phone with me?
Yes.
And we spoke on the air?
No.
Oh.
I was on hold.
Get me real nervous.
And I was on hold so long that I was disconnected, and I tried to get through again. And
here you are.
In and trying. But you know why sometimes
Right.
you feel that you're not getting any calls through? Because I've tried calling you early in the mornings, and so is a lot of other people, and I've always been getting a busy signal.
What do you mean early in the morning?
Pardon?
What do you mean early in the morning? Like about 7:30?
No. About like maybe 8, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
8, 9 o'clock, yeah. Well,
But I have been trying.
I'm telling you,
quite a
these
long
phones
time,
at 8,
about
9 o'clock in the
weeks.
morning are sizzling.
And the line is always busy, and that's why sometimes you're not getting no calls. Yesterday or the day before.
Well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let's slow down a bit. If they're busy, how could we be getting no calls? For example, they're all lit now. Now, that doesn't mean that all those people want to talk to me, but they're all lit up.
Well, why wouldn't they want to talk to you if those are the phones that lit up? Aren't those the ones that come through to you? Or
Those are the...
phones?
Wait a minute. Listen to me. Read my lips, will you please? Those are the ones that are on hold.
Oh, yes.
Now, that doesn't mean they want to talk to me. That means they're just waiting on hold. Maybe they're hearing music in the background of the receiver, and they want to hear the signal more clearly, so they're listening on hold.
No,
then as soon as I punch them up, they'll go away.
You. And at least when they put us on hold, at least I'm glad that they do put the music on, because it doesn't sound like you're holding a dead phone.
Oh, wait a minute. When you're on hold waiting to speak to me, you hear music?
Sometimes. Not all the time.
Music?
Sometimes. Now, not all the time. But maybe the studio puts it on without you knowing it. Right? Or you don't know that then?
In other words, you're telling me that Kyle is playing music in the background upstairs while you're waiting to talk to me?
Well, I don't want to get anybody in trouble, but I would rather hear the music than not, because, you know, you...
Well, like what kind of music are you hearing in the background?
Well, now I just now heard something.
What?
It sounds like a horn blowing.
Are you sure you're not hearing our FM bleeding through?
Well, I don't know what it is, but at least it's, especially when I'm not actually talking to you, when I call your number, which I've been trying for the past 2 or 3 weeks.
All right, but let me understand this, because I do this for a living, and I need to know what's going on. Are you telling me you're hearing Lena Horne in the background?
Well, I do hear something going on in the background right now, and I'm not joking. It stopped now.
Oh, it stopped now?
Now it's going on.
Uh-huh. How about now?
On.
And now?
Stopped.
And now?
Nothing.
Now?
The horn.
Now?
Or whatever it is.
We could do this till 2 o'clock. Can you imagine what a good time we could have?
No, I really mean it.
This is like one of those hearing tests that they give you. You ever had a hearing test? And you hear those little tones?
Sounds like some kind of a, I don't know if I would say it's a trumpet or what, but some kind of a noise like that.
You hear a trumpet now?
It stops and goes. It stops and goes.
Uh-huh.
And the other morning you said something to somebody that, where is everybody? They must be out, or they must be sitting on their hands or something like that. And I couldn't get through that day, but I finally waited all these hours today. You know why sometimes you don't get a call? Because everybody is trying to call you at the same time.
Yeah, well, that's true.
At a busy signal. But today I says I'm going to stay on until something other happens.
Well, I'm sure glad you did. You have no idea.
Did get on the phone, and they asked me, who do I want to talk to? And I says, I want to talk to you. And I don't remember what he mumbled. And then I heard a lot of noises, and the phone went crazy again. So I tried again, but this time I got through fairly, soon. So this time I said I was going to hold on and hold on and hold on. In fact, one time the operator cut through, and she says, she thought I was waiting for a call back from the company. I says, no. And then she hangs up. So this morning I says I was going to stay on, see what happens. And I enjoy, hello, are you there?
Yeah.
And I enjoy a lot of times when you say that you wonder where everybody is. Nobody's getting through. But then maybe something was wrong with the telephone then, because everybody is trying to get through. And you know that lady before, that little old lady that, I don't remember now what it was. She was trying to get through or something. Oh, I don't remember now. I don't remember. Well, anyway. But I want you to know that people are listening and people do try and get through. But they get the busy signals constantly because everybody is trying to get through to you. So, I have nothing in particular to talk to about today, except it's a gorgeous beach day and things like that. But I do enjoy your programs, and
Great.
That's the only thing I can say. But, you should know that hundreds of people are trying to get through to you, and they get busy signals.
At least 7 anyway, yeah.
Can you ever put in more phones? No, that wouldn't be no good.
Boy, that's all we need. If we had 20 lines, can you imagine sitting here with 20 empty lines? That would really be good.
No,
we don't want to do that. Let's not overdo it. In fact, we might take a few out.
Yeah.
The way I would like it best if we had one line.
Well, how many lines do you have?
7.
7?
7.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I say.
Well, but...
do you know what it's like trying to get 7 South Floridians all to call at the same time? See, some of the other stations are smart. They've only got, I think, 5 lines on one, although one of the stations in town, they've got 10 lines.
Everybody tries to get through to you, and if the lines are busy, it's impossible.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, maybe we could put in about 50 lines.
Besides the 2 or 3 weeks ago, I called, and actually, I had a little friend here at one time. Well, I had a friend here, and her 9-year-old daughter was here, and I told her to hold on to the phone. I says, as soon as she hears anybody talk, just tell them just a minute and, call me.
Right.
But nobody ever came on the line, and we were listening to the radio besides her on the phone, and I don't know what happened, but Well,
let me ask you, do you still hear that music?
Pardon?
Do you still hear that music in the background?
Not now.
Good.
Not now. No,
Good.
It stopped. But just before, when I was talking about it, there was a sound. Well, I won't say it was music. It sounded like a long pull on a horn or a bell or something.
Now, you sure it wasn't do you live near railroad tracks?
No, no. It was definitely coming through. I won't say from your studio, but no, it wasn't any foreign sounds or anything like that. It was something.
But you don't hear it anymore, right?
No.
Good. Okay, well, listen, it's been great hearing from you. This has been one of our better calls today.
Wait, it sounds like somebody is blowing a musical horn, but just a long sound, and then it stops. Now it's not on at all. It's very, very quiet in the background.
Good.
There it is.
You've got a sense of humor, I'll tell you. That's just incredible. I wish I knew what you were talking about. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay. Well, listen, have a great weekend.
That musical sound is there now. You sure it's somebody in that?
It stopped. It stopped. Somebody in a different studio maybe is coming through.
Yeah, well, this could be sabotage. Maybe the FM people are doing this. They're a little upset. The book just came out, and
Maybe,
they're having a lot
not
of
the FM.
problems up there, yeah.
What's the other little gremlins? Maybe they are floating
Yeah,
around.
the gremlins could be. Well, listen, I got to run here because if we don't...
I want you to know that the other day, yesterday or
Yeah.
this morning, I really don't remember, you said, what are the people doing, sitting on their hands or something? No, it's that everybody is trying to call you all at one time.
Well, you know what happened yesterday?
What?
They were all sitting on their hands. You know what they're doing today?
No, I don't.
Washing them. Okay, listen, take care of yourself.
Sir, please realize that people are trying. But if everybody is trying at the same time, they get it busy.
Right. Well, listen, I got to go now.
Okay.
So have a great weekend.
Well, I'm glad I got through to you in
Okay.
about a few more days.
Say goodbye, will you please?
Okay.
Bye-bye.
And have a nice day.
Say goodbye.
So long.
12:19 at WINZ. 23 past noon at WINZ. Don't forget, Ernie Sochin will be here at 2, and Ernie will bring things back to the real world. Trust me, I just have a feeling that Ernie today is probably in a serious mood, and he's going to talk about some real heavy-duty stuff. So if you're a little bit upset because we haven't been solving all the traumatic problems of mankind this morning, stick around. Ernie will do it. North Miami, hello.
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Who is it? Mr. Johnson?
Mr. Johnson, right.
Good. I want to tell you something. I'm delighted to have waited 20 minutes for you, but as a mother, as a human being, I know you're doing a fabulous job, and a newcomer to Florida, but I've never heard anyone like you to get so aggravated over a job. You'll wind up with ulcers, God forbid.
Not me. I let it all out on this show. That's why I don't get ulcers. I let it all hang out.
You should hear yourself. And that lady before me, she was right. She did hear music. I heard music.
Are you serious?
So help us God. It's true.
Well, while you were on hold?
While I was on hold, it sounded like, God forbid, taps.
Taps? Maybe that's an omen.
God forbid, God forbid. No, but really and truly, she wasn't wrong.
I don't understand it. Well, maybe we're being sabotaged because people are telling us that the FM is bleeding through on TalkNet at night.
He's sabotage. You're a great guy. You're doing a fantastic job.
Well, wait a minute. Is this the first time you've heard this show?
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yes, I'm a newcomer.
Where are you from?
New York.
Uh-huh.
Brooklyn, New York.
And how long have you been here?
Well, considering everybody says I'm new, 2 years.
Oh, well, that's not brand new.
I've been busy going to school and keeping house.
Uh-huh.
And I lost my husband, so I'm occupied. But I wasn't going to hang up. I've been on the line so long, and some people sound so damn insipid.
Insipid is the word for it. That's an excellent term. Excellent choice of words.
I beg your pardon?
Excellent choice of words.
Beg you, please. I don't know whether you're married or not.
No.
No, but just take it easy.
Okay.
Only a job.
That's what I keep telling him. It's only a radio show. It's not a way of life. I have a friend who says that.
Person in the store with one customer, oh, you're so happy to wait on them. You make a sale. The other salesperson will eat your heart out.
Right.
But it gets you.
Well,
You mind if I tell you that?
not at all.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, dear.
Take care.
Remember what I told you.
Okay.
It's only a job. Don't get sick from it.
You bet. Have a nice weekend.
You.
Bye-bye. Don't forget Art Deco Weekend. It's going on right now, sponsored in part by those of us here at WINZ. And I get all choked up. I get emotional when I say that. And, of course, if we get enough requests for it, we'll bring back Barbara Kapitman, who is a one-time director of the Art Deco Society on the Beach and certainly a very capable spokesperson for their cause. And we might actually rev her up again and put her on if we get enough requests for it here today. We have an open line in Broward now. If you'd like to join us, the number in Broward is 764-0707. Miami, hello.
Hi, Neil. First-time caller.
Good.
Yes, the last news break prompted me to call you because concerning the judge's decision, on those youths, that, they only gave them 2 years.
Yeah, isn't that incredible? Because they're so young.
Yeah, and they had, sawed-off shotguns.
Right, mm-hmm.
Well, I'm calling because, I like to make tell you that I think, that's the reason.
Can I ask you a question before you go on? Are you in a barrel with some children there, or what's going on there?
No.
Where are you calling from?
I'm just a little nervous. Miami.
No, but I mean, what's going on in the background?
No, nothing. The radio's off.
But who are those people in the background?
No. Oh, my sister, maybe. Well, getting back to the subject, I think, I've heard you talk a lot about, the elections and how, no one, really knows exactly who they're voting.
Wait a minute. Now I feel like I'm getting even with me now for the music with the callers. And you don't hear that in the background?
No. Everything's fine.
Two can play this game, Go ahead.
Like I've heard you said before, during the elections, people don't know exactly, who to vote for, because I think, these people just, when it comes to the election, all they do is, spend a lot of money on a commercial which, attracts the person that doesn't really know, hasn't kept up with the news.
Yeah. Well, that's what we've become, though. You see, everything has been reduced to a 30-second TV commercial.
Right, and I was thinking, if it were possible to, like, right at the election time.
I'm not sure yet. I'll let you know when I figure it out.
I'm too good today, huh? You're going to put us all up to sleep over here with these last few calls.
Well, I'm trying to move on quickly, sir.
Okay.
And if you don't get to the point...
I finally discovered why all the elderly are moving into South Florida.
And what is the ad here? Very complacently, every line was lit. I looked down, and most of the people disappeared again. Boy, you folks today you're just incorrigible. In Dade County, our number is 624-0191. Like I said, I've told you this so many times, no matter how long you've been on the air, no matter how good the ratings are, you sit down every day and it's a brand new day. It's like you're starting from scratch. Like, who the hell are you? And, entertain us today or we don't, we're going away. We have better things to do than monkey around with you. I mean, Ernie's going to be on this afternoon sending out free locks to all of his listeners. This is a low-budget show. I can't afford to buy my audience, all right? Like over at Y100 now. Now they'll have it up to $2 million they're going to be giving away every Thursday morning, right? When with the numbers they've got, they need to up the ante, obviously. It's not enough. Where are we going? Fort Lauderdale, hello.
Hello, Neil. I have something to share with you in reference to your yesterday's show. I was driving down Sunrise Boulevard.
Well, that was your first mistake.
Yeah, well, you're right about that. Anyway, I had a flat tire as I was approaching King Drive, the section, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, I pulled over to the side, changed my tire. I was getting my spare on, and a couple of older, probably 30 or 40 years old, black males approached me, right? Guess what they got from me? Everything.
Your wallet?
Wallet, watch, credit cards, checkbook, everything. At gunpoint at that.
Mm-hmm.
This is listening to your show yesterday and what happens
unbelievable
evening.
Yeah.
So, I just had to share that with you. Keep up the good work.
Well, good luck to you, and I think the best advice I can give you is don't ever stop.
Yeah.
Keep on going.
Have a good day, Neil.
You too. That's amazing, but not unusual, I guess. 27 before 1 at WINZ, and we have an open line in Broward now, 764-0707, and two lines again in Dade. I can't keep up with this. I mean, I'm getting dizzy just sitting here looking at the phone. In Dade County, 624-0191. Today is called Punish Uncle Neil Dale, and the audience is doing a sensational job of it. They're just, they're unbelievable. In fact, the first woman this hour, I think her call more or less epitomized our entire program today. Pompano, hello.
Hi, yes, I'm from Massachusetts, and I really enjoy your program. But I thought I'd call and tell you that it is true that 90-year-old lady and some gentleman after that said that they could not get your station after a certain hour, and that is true. I listened to you.
Oh, now, wait a minute. That isn't what... No, they weren't talking about that. We're talking about... See, now we're going to open up this old Pandora's box about our nighttime pattern, and I'm going to just fall on the floor. No, that's a different story. We have to change pattern at sundown. That's not a new problem. That's a constant, okay? There's nothing we can do about that.
I'm not supposed to be able to get TalkNet?
No, well, it's got nothing to do with what the program is. It's got to do with this station. And if you're in certain areas of Pompano at night, it's adios, because we have to change our pattern. We're directional.
I see.
Okay.
But what
well,
they were in Miami. They're talking about a different problem, and that is music from our FM station is evidently bleeding into our AM signal at night.
I heard that part of it.
Yeah, and they're hearing that in the background.
I heard that part of it, and that woman is right. I could hear a trumpet in the background.
Oh, wait a minute.
Right.
Wait a minute. You mean when she was on?
When you and she were talking.
Yeah.
And she said to you, I hear a horn.
Yeah.
I hear music. But it was a trumpet. She was right. And then it would go off.
Yeah.
And then it would come back on again. That's one thing. And this is true because I heard your whole conversation, and I heard when she said that she could hear this trumpet. I could hear it also. Okay? I just wanted to verify that for you so you wouldn't think that...
Well, wait a minute. But then you weren't on... Were you on hold, or were you listening on the radio?
Oh, I was listening on the radio. I was listening on my radio. I could hear that horn like a trumpet in the background. So she's right. She's not
What do you think that...
senile person, not, perhaps hearing things, because I heard it myself. But the other thing, you had another lady, about 90, who kept saying, I can't get your station after a certain hour. You're on until...
No, but she was in Miami. We don't have that signal problem in Miami. All of our nighttime signal all goes south. So in Miami, we're as loud as can be at night.
Okay, but I'm in Pompano.
Yeah. No, what you see is...
Am I not supposed to get your station in Pompano?
No, not at night.
Not at night.
Unless you live right along the beach.
Well, I'm on Pompano Beach.
You're on the beach and you can't get it at night?
Right.
Far north?
I'm on North Ocean Boulevard in the 700.
Oh, yeah. Now I'm going to start sounding like Alan Burke, right? I don't want to do that because we all saw what happened.
I'm talking about.
Our girl on Channel 10?
Michelle?
Okay, I'm glad we got you straight.
Okay. And right before she signed off, she held her hand up and waved a little bit and mouthed the word, "Hi, Neil."
No.
I swear I was.
No.
I wondered if anybody else called you and told you anything about that.
Are you serial?
I swear I was sitting there, I was watching it because I was sick that day. I was off from work, and I just looked at it and I couldn't believe it. And she mouthed the words "Hi, Neil" just before they went to the theme song and as they finished up the broadcast.
Well, let me ask you, how many fingers did she hold up? And which one?
No, not just one. She just gave a little tiny wave, and then she said bye-bye, Neil. So I wondered if anybody had told you about that. And also I wanted to ask you a question about the Miami River cop trial thing. Did they? I couldn't believe it when I heard it. I was watching.
They sent him out for corned beef and pastrami, and now they're deliberating again. And the judge told him, listen, your sense of humor is great, but people are having nervous breakdowns while this is all going on. Get with it.
Have you heard anything about what the decision was or why they?
Oh, no, they would never reveal it, I don't think. Or at least not until it's all over.
Well, I think myself and everybody else in Dayton Broward are looking forward to see what happens in that case.
Well, I was looking forward last night, and then all of these people on the news were, they were going into cardiac arrest right on camera because this bizarre turn of events came about. I mean, anybody who believes that jurors have any business deciding the fate of other human beings, those people need serious help. Crazy.
Well, I do agree with you. I think we do need professional jurors these days, and I love your show today, especially the bit with the Godfather horn.
Well, listen, the information you passed along to me, that's probably the second most important call of the day.
Well, I didn't know if anybody told you about it yet. I couldn't believe it when I saw it, and I said, well, I wonder if Neil knows.
Was she winking when she did it?
No, she didn't wink, and she didn't shrug her shoulder. She just held up her little hand and waved
little
goodbye
pinky.
and said, "Hi, Neil."
Well, same to you, Michelle. Okay, have a good weekend.
Hey, Neil.
Unbelievable. She's a star. There's no question about that. Just ask her. It's 12:45 at WINZ, Miami Beach. Hello.
Hello?
Yes?
Is this Neil Rogers?
I think so.
Okay. Well, I have a situation that is disturbing me very much, and I was wondering if you could be of service.
Well, I just want to say this. I don't want to be insensitive because it's obviously a serious call, but this is not an advice show.
Yes, I'm taking this to the media, and I'm taking it into the law courts because I can't sit around and watch the Dade County school system destroy my son's potential, which has been proven to be very incredible in terms of his IQ.
Well, wait a minute. What do you mean destroy his potential?
Well, they're trying to make him conform to the way that they, okay, what do I mean by destroy potential? The way his brain thinks is very different from the way the average brain thinks, and I have proof of this from a therapist. Okay? He thinks like a computer. He has a different way of, very different way of analyzing, for example, long division. And this is an example, to give you an example. And so what they're doing is he's really ready for high school mathematics. And what they're doing is they're giving him computation. And what they're giving him is computation, which he learned in the 3rd grade. So first of all, it's repetitive, which is wasting his...
Wait a minute. Again, I don't want to sound insensitive, but do you realize how many people there are, how many youngsters in the Dade County public school system? How many thousands there are?
What does that have to do with...
No, it's not a question of what it has to do with what you're talking about, but I mean, if each parent who had some kind of a difficulty with the school system or some kind of an argument or some kind of a quarrel, if each one were going to talk about it on a radio talk show, there would be no talk shows anymore. In other words, I don't know what it is you think by bringing it up here, and I understand, I think I have an idea of the kind of thing you're talking about. What are we going to do about it?
Well, we're going to get the school system to implement a program that will meet his needs, which is starting...
Wait a minute. They're going to implement a program for his needs?
Sure, they have
Specifically?
Specifically, because his needs are very specific.
Well, what if every parent, all the thousands and thousands of parents, said you have to institute a...
Not every parent has a child with needs that's specific.
Yeah, but we have a lot of parents with children who have learning disabilities, and a lot of them don't get any special attention because the money isn't there. And, it's a very unfortunate situation. It's tragic, and we've done programs about it, and we've talked about it, and we've bellyached about it.
I'm not interested. I empathize with those...
Wait a minute. You're not interested?
I am. Listen, I'm raising my own 2 children.
No, but wait a minute. How about all the other people in the audience who are raising their children? If you're bringing it up on a talk show and you want them to be interested, but you tell me that you're not interested in the people who've got children with learning disabilities because you've got your own problems. I can't handle that. I'm sorry. Can't handle it. I mean, I was trying to be, even though it's totally off the wall in terms of the kind of show we're doing today, I was trying to be a little bit patient and understanding, but when she gives me that kind of a response and she's not interested because she's got her own kids to worry about, well, then I guess everybody's going to give that response. That's incredible. That's amazing. Woo! 11 before 1 at WINZ, and let's move right along. Miami, hello.
Hello, Neil?
Yes.
This is, I'm calling from South Dade, Neil. I'm one of your...
Well, we won't hold that against you.
I was listening to the lady before. She needs a psychiatrist.
Well, I don't know what she needs, but boy, that was bizarre. And maybe I let her go on too long, but I was trying not to be insensitive. But when she gives me that kind of a response about she doesn't care about anybody else's problems, and the school system has got to devise a program specifically for her child, boy, it's a wonder anybody still wants to teach.
But this is not the place for that. But anyway, what I called about is your leaking in from your...
My leaking? I beg your pardon?
Yeah, the music leaking in on your station.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we listen to Bruce Williams in the evening when we're having dinner. And I listen to you usually at noontime after I've heard the news and so on. And I'm not an oldie, but we do get music in the background, and it sounds like WLYF leaking into your...
WLYF is leaking into our AM at night?
It's that type of music.
No wonder they got such a big number.
Yeah, it's that type of music, and one of the ladies that was on at noontime, is in fact a couple of them who were talking with you, they were right. When they said it was on, and when it was off, it was off. And also, when you were talking with a gentleman... No, a lady, I think at Pompano Beach, was it?
Yeah, right.
Now, she apparently didn't hear it in the background, but I did.
Well, do you think it's possible somebody is sabotaging our programs?
Well, I imagine there's probably plenty who would like to.
Maybe they're piping in that elevator music into our TalkNet.
Well, but it's the same music you get in the doctor's office, the dentist's office, and so on, you know?
Is it loud?
Yes, it does. It's fairly loud. Sometimes it's so loud that we can barely tell what you're saying. So I think you should look into it. Okay, hon? That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you.
Okay, dear.
Okay. 9 minutes before 1 at WINZ. We've uncovered a new mystery here today. We're going to send the WINZ search team out, the investigative search team, to see if we can't track this down. And when she said it sounded like WLYF in the background, now I begin to get real nervous. You know what I'm saying? Real nervous. like you're nervous when you're sitting in the dentist office in anticipation. Well, now I'm beginning to get real nervous. And while I'm trying to calm down, let's go to that wonderful calming influence of ours, our very own sports director, Ron Harrison at Overseas Electronics, who's giving out Alan Burke posters free today. Ron?
Okay, we're here at Overseas Electronics Superstore. And we've got warehouse view prices. I wish you'd come by here today and take a look if you're in the market for a TV, a video recorder, for a stereo system, a Walkman, car stereo, and compact discs. We've got them, boy, all kinds of them. And camcorders, tapes and accessories, and telephones and telephone answering machines. So if you need a new telephone for the house, come on by here. We've got great name brands in electronics like Sony, Panasonic, JVC, NEC, Zenith, GE, and TDK, to name a few. And we've got Super Bowl specials this weekend. Color TVs from only $139. Video recorders, only $229. Check out that Sony 19-inch cable-ready color TV, only $298. Most major credit cards accepted. Financing available for qualified buyers. How do you get here? Get on the Palmetto 826 Expressway. Get off at Northwest 58th Street. Head east. That's the east exit, and you'll find us. You'll see the store right from the Palmetto, and we're right on the Palmetto Expressway. And we've got plenty of free tickets also for 94 News and WINZ's Chuck Mangione concert next Saturday at the Marine Stadium. So if you want to save in every way, you can come to Overseas Electronics Superstore today. Overseas Electronics. I hear a horn in the background. I'll have to check that out.
12:55 at WINZ, and I wonder if those combat discs that Ron Harrison was talking about are for the Hurricane football players. We'll find out next hour. Fort Lauderdale, hello.
Hello there, Mr. Johnson. How you doing?
Okay, Mr. Jones, how are you?
Pretty good. I think we figured out where the horn's coming from. You are obviously a psychic medium, and the horn is a way for the people who have crossed over to communicate back to us down here in the South Florida area.
Yeah, well, I forgot to tell the audience that I'm a distant cousin to Connie Volpe.
Yes. Okay,
See?
Yeah,
Look at that. All I have to do is mention her name.
That's amazing. They're saying, don't eat the early bird.
Right.
One of the things I haven't heard...
Well, you know what they were telling me last week? Don't shoot the early bird.
They must be turkey birds.
And I keep telling them the early bird gets the worm.
Every day.
Yep.
Every day.
You were saying, I'm sorry, I got carried away.
We both are. One of the things I haven't heard discussed yet, and I don't know if it's important or if you want to even bring it up today or not, is
Please.
Channel 4 is being...
Oh, am I glad you mentioned that. Well, I wrote that down at the beginning of the show, and then I got carried away with something. And they were purchased by General Electric, which owns NBC.
Right.
And in 6 months, that'll zip right through the commission because we know that there are no mafia people in NBC, unlike the Lorimar Pictures and all of that, where they had a little bit of a problem. And, of course, NBC doesn't like the mob anyway. That's why they, slandered Wayne Newton, and now they're paying for it. But we don't want to get off onto a tangent. That's going to be very interesting, and I think that could be the savior of Channel 7, because ultimately they're going to wind up being the CBS affiliate, and Channel 4 will be NBC.
Well,
that's going to be strange.
They also speculated that Channel 10 might become CBS because the holding company for Channel 10 has a lot of affiliate stations that are on CBS network, and Channel 10 is the one that carries Charles Kuralt on Sunday morning, our CBS affiliate.
Right, that's right. Oh, wait a minute, 10 is negotiating with CBS? They want to pick it up when the sale goes through?
No, but they've had talks about it. The holding company for Channel 10 has spoken to CBS about it, but there's nothing going on currently that I'm aware of.
Oh, Kyle tells me that Channel 10 is negotiating with ABC to be bought by the network, by the ABC network.
Oh.
Won't that be great? And, of course, there were rumors about CBS buying Channel 6.
Great.
So it's really incredible. We'll have to have Jicka and all those other people on here to straighten this all out. Wouldn't it be something if Michelle was on together with Dan Rather? Just put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Our girl.
Well, listen, hang in there.
All right, you have a good afternoon.
And keep your ear to the ground.
Oh, not on the rails.
Okay, see you later.
Bye-bye.
Keep your ear to the ground. You're likely to find that early bird and his worm. Anyway, we're at the end of hour number 3. When we come back, we've got some really great callers waiting on hold right now. I have a feeling next hour is going to be the winner in this show today. Julie Schott's here. She's trying to figure what this is all about. She has the local headlines, world news from CBS at the top of the hour. We'll come back at 1:06, and then ladies and gentlemen, with his corned beef in one hand and his Argyle socks in the other, Ernie Sochin at 2 this afternoon.
When the storm comes, we keep an eye on the sky. You keep an ear here. 94 News WINZ. WINZ. Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
94 News
Good morning, I'm Julie Schott from the 94 Newsroom. Here's what's happening today. The jurors in the Miami River Cops case reached a verdict last night, but it wasn't unanimous, so the judge has sent the 11-member panel back into deliberations today. The trial's been going on for nearly 4 months now. 7 former and current police officers are charged with running a deadly drug ring. Metro Police are investigating a double shooting today at 183rd Street and Homestead Avenue in South Dade. Police have few details, but say the shooting apparently happened earlier this morning. And in Miramar, the parents of a 13-year-old middle school student say their daughter was ordered to raise her skirt and unzip her pants by an assistant principal who was searching for missing money. The assistant principal says she only told the girl to take off her shoes and socks. The woman says the girl voluntarily raised her skirt. WINZ weather for this afternoon.
The Godfather. I hear it all the time myself.
You hear? What do you mean you hear it all the time? Like in the back of your mind?
Oh, no. I'm not off my rocker either.
No, I didn't say that, but I mean sometimes tunes are catchy and you start humming them and they...
But it's always the same tune, the theme from The Godfather. That's the
Well, no, but when you say you hear it all the time, what do you mean by that?
I hear throughout your program at various times, while you're talking to people, the music is in the background.
Well, wait a minute. Do you think that perhaps there's a group on Golden Beach that are sabotaging the show?
No, but this thing goes on all day at various times during your program, and that's the only music which is played is the theme of The Godfather.
Only during my show?
Only during your show, that's right. When a woman said she heard a horn, what she was trying to describe was a cornet solo, and that's why it's played on a cornet. It's a cornet theme of The Godfather.
It's on a coronet?
Cornet. You know, the old-fashioned cornet.
Yeah, I haven't even heard of a cornet in years. Do they use coronets anymore?
Well, this is a cornet. I'm a musician.
No, but I'm asking you, is a cornet still used?
Well, it's used in rare occasions, but the music is played on a cornet, not a trumpet, an old-fashioned cornet, and it's always the same song. It's the Godfather theme. So these people are not nuts when they tell you about this.
No, listen, I mean, it's been so many people, it can't all be nuts together. They can't imagine the same thing.
At least you know what the music is now. And let me tell you, Neil, you're the tops.
Thank you.
Right.
Take care of yourself. Okay, now here's one that Kyle is writing me a message about that I think bears repeating to the audience. A woman called to say that she prefers not to listen and speak to me. What does that mean? She prefers not to listen? Well, I mean, if she prefers not to speak, that's fine. But if she prefers not to listen, what is she doing? What are these people doing, Kyle? That, of course, is a question for which there probably is no answer. That's one of the great mysteries of life in South Florida. What are they doing? What are they thinking about? I asked them that at the Hallmark last Wednesday. I said, what is it? I looked out into that sea of faces and I said, what are the things that really matter? And the next lady got up and she spoke to me with a passion that I've seldom seen. You know what she was talking about? The early bird. 109 at WINZ. Let's go to Hollywood. Hello.
Hello, Neil.
Yes, sir.
I think the ghost of Don Corleone is on the waves today.
I think he's bleeding through from Golden Beach.
I think so. Listen, I'm having fun today. I'm supposed to get some work done, but I can't. I'm sitting down. I'm cracking up. The whole show is great.
You know what?
To tell you that.
You know what the funniest part of this show is? All of these people are serious.
Oh, that's why it's funny. The whole thing is just crazy. So I wanted to tell you I'm having fun, and those other guys on the other station, they're trying to save the world, but at least you got a sense of humor, and that's what it's all about.
Well, listen, when you get up in the morning and you turn on the news, and I'm coming to work listening to our station, and they're telling us that the Republican leaders are concerned because the president can't grasp big issues, and they're concerned that he's losing it. I mean, what are you going to do? You got to laugh at that point, right? And let's,
keep those horns a-blowing. That's all I want to do.
Okay, I'll see you later. I'll see you in Sicily.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, that's going to get some people upset, right? We don't want to start picking on the Italians because they're a wonderful people and they never stole a freight train. It's 11 minutes past 1 at WINZ. I do remember, though, when that movie first came out, I think it was 1975, when it got...
went on. But it happens that it was true. These ladies are not telling any falsehoods. But anyway, Neil, let me
wait a minute. Where were you driving when this was going on?
Going between Opalacher and 84.
Opalacher and where?
Opalaca and Route 84. I was going right up University Drive.
On University?
Right. As I was passing...
well, wait a minute. That's 135th.
Well, I started with 135th, and I wound up at Route 84.
Well, yeah, there's a lot in between there, though. I mean, you've got all of Broward County, and you've got 151st.
Yeah, well, I went
and Miami Gardens Drive.
I went right.
And Ives Dairy Road.
Yes.
And Hallandale Beach Boulevard.
Up University.
And Pembroke Road.
Correct.
And Hollywood Boulevard, Sheridan Street, Sterling Road, Griffin, and then...
Griffin and
so
Orange.
that, well, I'm just trying to picture it in my mind, you know.
Well, this is what happens. These women happen to be telling you the truth. There was something that might have been wrong. But anyway, I just wanted you to know they happen to be telling you the truth. But just let me say one thing. I only came in contact with you on the radio just a couple of months ago. I driving home, and I turned my radio on, and I heard your voice. I happened to like it. And you were so controversial that when I got home, I was mad at myself. I was telling my wife about you.
Really? What did your wife say?
Well, she thought I was nuts, but she started to laugh because you are anti-everything. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but you're anti-everything.
Oh, no. No, you ought to see me on payday, sir.
No, I'll tell you something.
I'm very positive on that day.
A few things you were positive.
Okay.
You were on the other day, you were positive. But anyway, let me just, two things. I don't know whether you did discuss it the other time, but I am really...
people in a booth. There aren't too many people in the place. An elderly man and woman walk in, and they sit down in the booth next to us. And they're discussing something. And the waitress comes over, hands them the menu. Oh, we don't want this. We want the special. What special? The special that was in the newspaper, 2 for 1. Now, this is Tuesday night.
2 for 1?
Yeah, well, they have a special. I understand they had an ad in the paper for Thursday and Friday. They're $11.95, or they're $5, or I forget what it is. Anyway, 2 for the price of $11.95.
Yeah.
A fixed menu of specific items that they didn't have and weren't prepared.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, the waitress comes over and says, I'm sorry, that's only on Thursday and Friday. You bring me today's paper. She says, I'm sorry, I don't have it. You send me the manager. And the man with the elderly fellow says, what did you do? Foul up again? You never read the paper correctly. What did you make me schlep all the way down here from Fort Lauderdale? Why do I have to put up... And they were going at it tooth and nail.
Unbelievable.
The manager came over. He said, I'm awful sorry. She said, I want to see the paper. Anyway, they calmed down. The manager left. They ordered something. From the time they ordered until it came, this woman didn't let out for a minute, and he wouldn't let up on her for a second. As far as when you read the paper, you should read with your glasses. You don't know what the hell you're reading. Why don't you pay attention? Neil, so help me God, I was on the floor. The waitress come over. I says, so what was that all about? But it is a good place to go to eat, believe me.
See, one of the great things when you go into some of those places in certain areas of town, I won't mention them, but you can use your imagination.
Yes,
is
we
that
passed by and there was an hour late, an hour wait in line outside.
There's no extra charge for the floor show.
No. And if you get seriously, if you get there on time and you really have a ball, it's better than a 3-wing circus.
Yeah, you bet. In the sink?
Yes? He's washing himself. I said to the wife.
And changing his underwear?
Right. What?
Well, maybe if you had stopped serving that early bird stuff, your customers wouldn't have to change their underwear. 19 before 2 at WINZ. Let's move right over to Ron Harrison at Overseas Electronics and get him in on this. Ron?
Well, that's a tough act to follow. Okay, we are here at Overseas Electronics Superstore.